Warning, the player selections you're about to see may flop miserably. FPL TV cannot be held responsible for any of your own transfer shockers. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Point Predictor, the series where I pick 5 players that I think will score 4 points or more in the upcoming FPL Gameweek. Within these predictions, I can only select one player per club, and I must follow the categories shown on screen. If you enjoy the Point Predictor series, then be sure to support the channel by dropping a like and getting subscribed to FPL TV. Before checking out my predictions for Game Week 12, let's look back at my choices from Game Week 11 first and see how they performed. So only 2 out of 5 correct picks last week, and surprisingly it was my 2 budget picks that did the business, with Arnautovic hitting double figures and Sigurdsson getting an assist in his match against Brighton. It was my big hitters that let me down this week though, with the expensive Mendy, Salah and Vardy all blanking last week. So let's move on to Game Week 12's choices now, and see if I can improve on things for the upcoming weekend. For my defensive choice this game week, I've opted for Ben Chilwell of Leicester. Now, Leicester have by no means been solid defensively this season, already shipping 16 goals in 11 games so far. But to be fair, only 6 of these have been at home, which isn't too bad of a record. This home fixture in particular though will be like no other for Leicester City, with it being the first at their ground since that terrible tragedy 2 weeks ago. So I can see there being a massive response in this game, and I'm expecting a big performance from the Foxes. What made this pick even more appealing though was Ben Chilwell's attacking output, with him taking up some very forward positions lately and delivering 2 assists in his last 3 games. Leicester's opponents this week also helped my choice, with Burnley statistically being one of the least threatening teams this season, managing the 2nd least goal attempts so far. My budget midfielder this week, under the price of 8 million, is definitely a massive punt on my part, and it goes to Shaqiri. There's no real underlying stats to back up this pick, simply because Shaqiri has very rarely featured in the starting 11 this season. But having looked at Liverpool's poor performance in midweek, I can see Klopp starting Shaqiri to freshen up this side which clearly has some tired legs in it. Despite his very limited minutes this season, interestingly, he's actually produced FPL returns in 4 of his last 5 opportunities, with a goal and 4 assists in just over 180 minutes played. Shaqiri is definitely not a player I'd be looking at as a long-term FPL option, but as a 1-week punt in the Point Predictor against a Fulham side who are leaking goals, I fancy his chances. For the any-priced midfielder this week, Liverpool options Mo Salah or Mane were the obvious choices, but with me having already picked a Liverpool player, it's on to the next best option, the fit-again Eden Hazard. Prior to his injury, the Belgian has been in scintillating form, producing FPL returns in 7 of the opening 9 game weeks. It's been a frustrating few weeks to own him lately, with him failing to start the last 2, but he still returned an assist in just 26 minutes against Palace. Having now played 60 minutes in the midweek Europa League fixture, clearly he's set to start this home game against Everton, and on current form, a fit Hazard at home is difficult to ignore. Opponents Everton have been improving of late, impressively winning 4 of their last 5 games, but notably they have failed to keep a single clean sheet in 5 away trips this season, and I can't see them getting one here at Stamford Bridge. With a huge proportion of Chelsea's attacking output coming through Hazard, you always feel if they are going to score, he'll almost certainly be involved. For the budget forward this game week, I've got to opt for the informed Callum Wilson. Firstly, apologies in advance for this pick, as by choosing Wilson this week I'll probably end up jinxing the Bournemouth striker. However, he is a hard player to ignore heading into Game Week 12 when he faces league strugglers Newcastle. Despite Newcastle's struggles, they have managed 2 clean sheets in their last 2 games. But what makes this more incredible is that they're actually second behind only Burnley for conceding the most shots in the box within those 2. Not to take anything away from Newcastle, but this suggests that the clean sheets have been more down to the wastefulness of their last 2 opponents. Callum Wilson, on the other hand, has the most penalty area touches of any striker in the league over the last 4 weeks. So if Newcastle continue to surrender this many chances, it could be perfect for Wilson, who has scored all his goals from inside the box so far. For the any priced forward this week, I've chosen Arsenal's Lacazette. Arsenal face Wolves in Game Week 12, and away from home, Wolves have actually been quite impressive so far. But I feel this trip to the Emirates is by far their biggest test, with Arsenal scoring in every fixture since Game Week 2 onwards. Opponents Wolves are also on a run of back-to-back defeats, whereas Arsenal head into this one in terrific form, who are unbeaten in 15 games in all competitions. During their midweek Europa League fixture, Lacazette was fully rested in that one, and therefore should be fresh to build on his goal against Liverpool last time out. And with FPL returns in 6 of his last 8 game weeks, the Frenchman has been impressively consistent of late. So that wraps up my point predictor picks for game week 12. Admittedly, I found this to be a very difficult week for the point predictor, but I hope they turn out to be decent picks and that you enjoyed the episode all the same. Let me know what you make of the choices, and best of luck to all of you for game week 12. FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all next week.